Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures are the services that will be required, so that it does not matter whether 5 years or 10 years after the insurance was taken, those services will be provided regardless of the fact that the costs may have gone up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Hstv Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones.
Another segment of Healthy Morning this morning. Thank you so much for making time and joining us, and thank you for making time and staying with us on the show. Once again, my name is Stephanie Ejojina Manyana. But before we get into matters arising, dailies and other portals that we are going to talk about, I want to say a happy belated birthday to my elder sister, Mrs. Ernestina Gigenio Anka. I believe being an elder sister is quite difficult to do, but you do it effortlessly. I couldn't have had a better elder sister than you. Nobody understands me better like you do. So God bless you, Tina. God bless you with peace. God bless you with joy. Actually, yesterday was her birthday. I'm sure. And thank you for leaving your fridge open for me all the time. I get to always take something, not steal. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
That makes her the best big sister in the world.
I have a big fridge. Because she has a big fridge to accommodate me. And nice. Then on Saturday was also my cousin's birthday, Alexander Anyana.
He has a target.
Now. Every day he's calling your God. I'm like, hey.
He has a target.
It
doesn't matter. Now there's something that you should know, that men don't just do things. He's doing it for a reason and a purpose. So allow him. Yeah, the second day now you see the Alexa Ayana, you didn't know.
Allow. Happy birthday to you. God bless you. Whatever is on your heart, I pray that God gives that to you in abundance. I pray for peace. I pray for joy. I pray for good health. I pray for wealth for you. And I pray for blessings in all your endeavors. And if you're out there, and today, the 19th of September, is also your birthday, feel free to send us the message of that person and the picture of that person. If it's about you as well, you can always feel free to send us a picture of yourself and a message, and then we here will help you celebrate your special birthday today. So that's it for the birthday celebrations, and then we can get on to the dailies and then other portals and discuss.
Sure. All right, so we start off with a founder this morning, and the banner headline this morning says 1,487 kilometers of roads completed since 2017, additional 5,404 kilometers ongoing in Eastern Region, and this is coming from the minister. It comes with a picture of Seth Champon. So that is a conversation about roads being done. Remember last week we had to talk about that of the Volta region, the Eastern Corridor roads and all that has been done. Also been done by the president, about 134 done already, about 670 something ongoing in the Volta region. So this time around, attention is on the Eastern region and the roads that are being done or completed actually. So 1,487 kilometers of roads completed since 2017. And then also we have at the top left corner, Ghana gives higher returns on investment according to Upon Nkrumah. Page 5 has details of that. And so yes, he's wooing investors out there to come in and probably invest. And then also anti-galamsey tax force to clamp down operations. Jinapo is the man, the minister, or the sector minister is the man talking here. And then yesterday, I think over the weekend, I saw that there was some new measures that has been put in place, things that they're now going to target and do in the mining sector in respect to galamsey cabin. So let's see how that goes. And then also final story there says Zonda Tech debunks false land looting accusations. Page 4 has details of that. Their leader Yang it's on the front page of the paper. They always have repetitive names, so yeah. So grab a copy of the paper and read details about that also.
Okay, William. Let's get on to the front page of the Daily Dispatch from Ben Epson, and it says that NPP's 2024 flag bearer slots. My focus now is helping the president to deal with current problems, according to Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He was saying this somewhere last week. That his focus now is really not necessarily how to break the 8 or win elections in the next election year 2024, but to help the president to deal with the current, especially economic problems that the country is facing. Away from that, 2% of cocoa farmlands are now illegal mining sites, according to Cocoa Board. And there was a story that we did where it was talking about, I think I saw a story over the weekend that says that even the chief and his brother and some other 5 suspects have been arrested because they gave out their land to some galamseyers to mine and all of that. So
I think over the weekend also, he speaks for the cocoa board. He was also mentioning the fact that some cocoa farmers, most cocoa farms are being given out for galamseyers to mine on the lands. And even the ones that are left, they're having to bring water from their own houses to water the cocoa farms. And
that's extra cost on them.
It's becoming unbecoming.
Unbearable, yeah.
This fight against galamsey, I hope and pray that some way, somehow, we'll begin to see some dividends out of it. Because
did we really start this fight against galamsey? Did we really start? Oh, I shouldn't ask you.
Are you asking me? Please, I don't speak for Abu Jinapo or the presidency. I beg you. I don't work at the Jubilee House. I don't get any allowance or something from there.
You don't get salary. Let's get into other stories on the Daily Dispatch. Says that Mohammed's promise to repeal Article 71. Why didn't he repeal it after winning in 2012? This is a question, I guess, being asked by the pollster benefit, and page 11 has details of that. And a lot of people are asking that same question, why he didn't really touch Article 71 of the Constitution when he was in power, but now he's out of power, he's talking about a whole lot.
So the only conclusion we can draw from this is politics. 2024 is just around the corner. So say something to get the attention of people to come in and then vote for you. So they'll go about. I mean, these things are expected. I saw somewhere Kum Chacha wants to become president now. So I saw some flyer that is circulating. And
Kum Chacha? Kum Chacha?
Yeah, Kum Chacha.
Like an independent candidate or... he's going to have...
I saw some flyers circulating. Whether he really wants to do it or it's a joke, we don't know. It's just a matter of time.
But I should believe that man has followers.
Well, what's this? The man, one of the men who went for the independence.
Fire TV.
No, not him. There was another one. No, Fire TV had a party.
He had the party.
Yeah. So one of the independent people, I've forgotten his name. I saw his flyer is all over now. Kaneshi overhead. I saw his picture. Boom, over there now. They started campaigning already. So I mean, expect some of these things.
So they campaign for 2 years. Wow.
expect these things to come. Ex-President John Mahama saying these things. You were in power for almost 8 years. The late Satamels did about a year or two, and then we lost him. He took over and then won another 4 years. You could have changed the emolument of Article 71 holders a long time ago. But why are you now complaining about it now? Anyways, that's a valid question from
exports could lead to ban, according to the former minister.
This morning, the Herald newspaper says Asante Henne's invitation to Queen Elizabeth's funeral faked. His name missing from invited royals. Really? Presence at the funeral today. And later on, we got to know over the weekend that he turned it down, that he will not be able to make it. But this, according to this paper, he had no invitation at all. Or his invitation was actually faked. Interesting times. Well, it comes with this picture. I see Toby for this picture there. I see Kofi Ofosu Nkansa as well as Brian Boabin all on the front page of the paper. I'm sure they are all part of the whole conversation that has to do with Asante Henne's invitation at the ongoing funeral today. And then also Adaklu MP builds health center for constituents. Kudos to him and all the MPs who are doing marvelously well. I saw some story we're going to do today. An MP and an DCE collaborated to end the shift system. Yeah. So that's something good. Some of the MPs and DCEs are doing. This is the kind of news you want to be part of the political. What do you call it? Whatever. Yes. When we keep hearing bad news all the time, you paint a very negative picture to everybody, even the younger ones. Still on the front page of the Herald, Komato's National Youth Authority blows 1.1 million Ghana cedis on sitting allowance, Auditor General's report. And it comes with a picture of the former sports minister, Pius Hadije. He is now heading the Ghana National Youth Authority. We are being told that on sitting allowance, I'm going to blow 1.1 million Ghana cedis. Well, according to the Herald, by the way, and we all know where the Herald is truth somewhere. Retired Justice Honanuga hangs onto Oponi Agongo case. Remember, we did the story, I think, 2 weeks ago or a week ago. he's saying that he's even coming out of retirement to still sit on the Opuni story because he feels it's not done yet with it. Well, let's see how that goes. Then the final story, Ken Atifua rubbishes Esla Owusu's SIM card re-registration deadline. Why is he saying this? Because he believes the extra 3 million people that are yet to be registered on the Ghana card or for the Ghana card cannot be achieved before 30th of September 2022. Hence, these people would not be able to re-register their SIM card. Effectively meaning that Esla Owusu's bluff is being called off because, we can block people when they don't have the Ghana card to even go and register. Well, let's see how this conundrum will pan out with the coming days. 30th September is just about 11 days from today. Today is 19th. Yeah, so we're just less than 2 weeks to go. Let's see what happens with the SIM card re-registration.
Okay, let's get on to the Daily Graphic this morning, and the banner headline says that fresh charges, Aisha once slapped with illegal entry, and AG presses 3 other more. So these are fresh charges against Aisha Wan. And then Queen Elizabeth II goes home today, President Akufo-Addo at the funeral. And we also have another story here that talks about 15.8 million people have Ghana cards according to NIA. So these are the 3 main stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic.
All right, so the Daily Post this morning says at the top corner says ignore vote bias as we head to the polls to elect our next leader. Alhaji Said Sinari tells NDC flag bearers. So he's already cautioning people ahead of time because you have less than 2 years or so to go with respect to that. Then also the banner headline says is getting a new Aibe, quote unquote, Aibe is quote unquote, Aibe wife your top priority than easing our suffering in these hard times? Sam George fires Akufo-Addo. I don't know where this
I think I heard the story
from.
over the weekend where I think the president was saying that he was praising the ever ladies. I say, I think I heard the story. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well, I had that ambition once upon a time.
Oh, really?
And he's also called William. So William,
I think your ambition was to be with a nurse.
Oh yeah.
So you wanted an ever nurse.
Oh yeah.
An ever nurse.
That's a conversation for another day. I'm married now. Well, Sam George is quizzing the president why he's asking to have a new Aigbe, quote unquote, wife, which seems to be his top priority rather than easing our suffering in these hard times. So I see Akufo-Addo's picture. I said teasing Sam George there. Very interesting picture they picked to use for this very conversation. I say, well, still on the front page, Honorable Kwame Agboja commissions newly built health center at Adaklu Davi, and that's the story we did earlier, also on the front page of the paper that we did. That is the
on the Finder.
Yeah, Herald actually.
Herald, okay.
And then also, Wager River is polluted with fecal matter. MD of Ghana Water Company Limited, and he's the man on the front page of the paper, Dr. Clifford Brimer. He is having the take on the Wager polluted river today because the Wager River in all its bar states is used to serve the people of Wager and its environs, Kaswa, those people. And if it's polluted with fecal matter, it's a big issue we need to talk about. That means people are drinking fecal matter, which is very, 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 very bad. God save us. Anyway.
Right, the Daily Statesman this morning says that massive road works in Eastern region with 1,487 kilometers completed and 5,404 kilometers in progress. And then Akufo-Addo's toast and tributes to Queen Elizabeth is also on the front page of the Daily Statesman. We also have committee reviews Galamsey fight, and the last story here says that Information Minister markets Ghana in Canada.
Okay, so that's how come you're saying investments in Ghana here.
Right,
right. Okay. Right. Anyways, it's on the Finder. Go grab the copy of that one too and read if you may. Let's move on to another daily. This one is a Searchlight. And it says, saving the city. Focus expenditure on Ghana produce goods and services. Kurachi is the man, the editor-in-chief and publisher of the Daily Searchlight, Mr. Kenneth Crunchy is the man talking here, that the focus should be on the city, saving the city. And then if we're able to do that, I'm sure a lot of things will reduce in terms of the costings here in Ghana. Anyway, also on the front page, Queen Elizabeth was an embodiment of virtue, courage, and affection. Dr. Baumia is the man talking here. Government to distribute French textbooks to schools next academic year. Reverend Intim Fojo, he's the Deputy Minister of Education. He's saying that here. And then also Ghana gives higher returns on investment upon Nkrumah. I'm sure this also coming in the wake of the conversation he's having in Canada. And then also no mining permitted in and around any river body. Lands Minister, it's one of the many measures they put out that I saw came out over the weekend. And then I think the final story says, let's treat population dynamics as national priority. Dr. Letitia Appiah is saying on the front page of the paper this morning. Grab a copy and read more.
Let's shift attention to the Chronicle, and we have police probe police over alleged land guard activities at Katamanso. And then Lands Minister is also in the news in a meeting with members of the committee. He's saying that it's still an offense to mine near river bodies. We know that, don't we? Yeah, we know that. Okay, Alan Chemansing is already creating jobs. He will surely lead NPP according to Lego Don. And it comes to the picture of Alan Chemansing, Minister of Trade and Industry. And then last story here says that Ghana is the investment destination of choice, according to Information Minister Kwadwo Oppong Nkrumah.
All right, so attention now to the new Crusading Guide. And it says, stay calm, police tells Ada resident, but former DCE insists violence must go on. Hey, violence must go on. Violence. Why is he asking or telling the people as such? Well, page 4, they say has details to tell about why he's saying such. Apology to Zonda Tech Ghana Limited MD Yang. She's back again on the front page of the paper. And then updates on the fight against illegal mining. So I'm sure most of the papers will give you details about the new updates and the measures being taken. Ifutu MCE demolished 20 houses with permits without court order at Pretu Achir. Page 10 of the paper has more. And then also Ethiopian Airlines internal flight record intercept by the new Crusading Guide. And Huang, that is Aisha Huang's repatriation journey from Accra to Guangzhou via Addis Ababa. And so she left via Ethiopian Airlines from Accra to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, before finally probably making her way to Guangzhou, China. Well, so that has been intercepted by the new Crusading Guide, Malik Kokubako, and his team has details of that. Grab a copy and read details.
Okay, on to the Republic Press. AG tightens news on Aisha Huang, and he's filed 3 new cases against her because he has taken over or revisited her case. Yeah, so that's a story. And then chief arrested for mining in bedroom. I read that story over the weekend. Him and his brother and 5 other suspects. And according to investigations, there was a big pit
beneath
on the compound. Okay, so those are the stories on the Republic Press. We'll take a quick turn and we'll come back and discuss more.
The mic is also messing us up. Or what?
name is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Hstv Funeral Homes. Hstv Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Hstv Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all times, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Hstv Funeral Homes provides any and all services that have to do with funerals. Hstv Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation, namely ambulances and hearses, to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may wish. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern crematory in Ghana at the moment, which services not only Ghana but also Côte d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only two privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is one telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures are the services that will be required, so that it does not matter whether 5 years or 10 years after the insurance was taken, those services will be provided regardless of the fact that the costs may have gone up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Hstv Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved one.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
All right, so welcome back. It's still Healthy Morning. We're still on the matter of Matters Horizon, and we just finished one. So let's jump onto the next paper, which is the Ghanaian Observer. And it says, government gets tough over Galamsey fight unveils fresh measures to deal with menace. So brace yourself. Abu Jinapo and his team and all those matter are now putting out some. But these measures are relatively what was before, including Operation Vanguard, Operation Galamstop 1 and 2 and all those ones. But I don't know how different these measures are with respect to the old ones that we're dealing with. But anyways, let's see how tight it will be. Anyway, still on the front page, President Akufo-Addo did not boycott Supreme Court Bar Council did. Law experts, schools, NDCs, Kakra, Suman. That is the story on the front page of the paper. It comes with the picture of the president as well. And then also, Ghana gives higher returns on investment. Info Minister is about what he's saying in Canada regarding investing here in Ghana. 1,487 kilometers completed. 5,404 kilometers awarded for construction, and the Eastern Regional Minister is the man talking here. I think it's also on the front page of the Finder this morning. And then Aisha Juan faces 4 new charges. Let's see how that goes. I think they're supposed to go back to court on the 27th. So let's see how these cases against her will fare. Okay,
let's get onto the anchor this morning. And it says that Newmont worker escapes a lynching years after gruesome murder of Major Mahama. That's a good one. That he escaped it, because it would have been a good news to hear this morning. Yeah. We also have dubious lands ministry staff jailed for 15 months. The story came out somewhere last week when he actually engaged himself in some over 200,000 Ghana cedis fraud issues. And, so he's been jailed for 15 months. And then 164 arrested illegal miners face prosecution. And the last story here says that Seshi, a Lubo chief, and brother grabbed over Galamsey. Okay, those are the stories on the anchor this morning.
All right, so we turn our attention to the Inquisitor this morning, inquiring, I believe. So it says, after Aisha Juan's arrest, Chinese gangs scatter. Where are they scattering to? Because according to NIA this morning, or even over the weekend, the foreigners population here in Ghana, China takes the top list. Well, Jinapo gives updates on fights against Galamsey. It's also at the top right corner of the paper this morning. And then former Adan East GCE allegedly sabotaging Electrochem. He's on the front page of the paper this morning. Then also, National Service Scheme on right trajectory. It comes with a picture of Osei Hstv Entry, NSS boss. Then also, Alhaji Kamara and family sign Queen's book of condolence. Also on the front page of the Quisita this morning. Grab a copy and read more details.
On the Informer this morning, the banner headline says that Article 71 Bruhaha, Males resurrects as Ghanaians call for implementation of CRC reports. I think that's the Child Rights Connect report, more like standing up for the rights of kids and all of that. It comes to the picture of the late President J.A. Mills, and then Professor Albert Kojo Frajo, and then President Akufo-Addo as well. And we also have cooperates with government to fight Galamsey, the minister urges, and stop dirty Galamsey politics. NDC guru tells former President Mahama. At the top right, the Galamsey chief nabbed. And in other news, Russia-Ukraine war, COVID-19 responsible. IMF insists. Comes to the picture of the managing director, Kristalina Georgieva. And the last story here says that Baumia on presidential ambition. He says that I'm focused on building good record. I'm focused on building good record.
Good records. You're waiting for the good records.
That's all for
the Ghanaian publisher this morning. It says Mahama's promise to repeal Article 71, cheap political talk of a power-thirsty fellow. Oh, who is saying this?
A choice of words sometimes.
Charlie. Well, page 2 has details from the Ghanaian publisher, but the banner headline says Minister seeks chief support in Galamsey war. Comes with a picture of the sector minister, Abu Jinapo. It's trending in almost all the papers this morning with respect to his new measures he's put out there with respect to fighting Galamsey. Upon Nkrumah woos Canadian investors, and then also Eastern region grabs 1,487 kilometers of roads. 5,404 kilometers more awarded, according to the regional minister. Then River Tano Not Polluted Minerals Commission, where we have a story to that. We'll get into that later on. Then U.S. ambassador pledges priority visa for Ghanaian students. Yes, so in a few months past, I saw a video that was telling us that about 5,000 Ghanaians are living in U.S. who are supposed to come back, and they said they won't come back. So they've halted visa issuance. But we are being assured by the U.S. ambassador that they will give priority to our students who want to go and study in the U.S. So it's just the floodgates have been open. If you want to go and tell them you're a student or you're going to study. Anyways, those are the stories on the Ghanaian publisher this morning.
Okay, and the last daily we have is The Custodian, and the banner headline says that Bawumia glorifies exemplary Queen Elizabeth. Comes with a picture of the late Queen and then Vice President Dr. Bawumia. We also have Bust outlines policies for more profits, and they've been doing super amazing in recent times. It comes with a picture of Mr. Edwin
Provincial.
Yes, Mr.
NPA.
Provincial, the boss MD. And then
Bost rather.
Yeah, boss MD. And then there's a story about the General Secretary aspirant of NDC, Mr. Hstv Ankra. He says that I will renew NDC spirits. And we also have another story that's talking about completion of roads in Eastern Region. It said 1,487 kilometers of roads completed in the Eastern Region. And Lands Ministry woos chiefs to fight Galamsey, according to the Minister Samuel Abujinapo. And the last story here says that Ghana has bright investment climate. Comes to the picture of Oponkroma, who is in Toronto in Canada, talking about Ghana's bright investments.
This is about the second time I'm hearing Hstv Ankra announcing that he wants to go for the General Secretary position of the NDC. Is General Mosquito resigning from the position? He's not going again?
It could be that he's going for the chairmanship position. I think I saw something like that.
You want to go for the higher one?
Yeah,
oh, rather.
I saw something like that.
And his deputy currently, Otukono, who's now a doctor, he just graduated from Gimpa recently with the doctor title now. Yeah. So Dr. Otukono, is he also not going for the, wouldn't he also want to advance? But anyway, it's quite interesting because they've issued out their prizes for forms. They are gearing up for the elections. And so I hear the minimum is 400 cities and the maximum is 4,000 Ghana cities for the forms to pick to any position that you intend to go for in the forthcoming elections of the NDC. All right, so let's see who gets what over time. Away from that, the dailies, let's look at the portals now. The Ghana Web reports that fuel could hit 17 Ghana cedis per litre if cedi depreciation continues, according to IES. Well, the executive director of the Institute of Energy Security, Nana Amoesi III, has stated that Ghana may not benefit from the reduction in global fuel prices due to the depreciation. According to him, Ghana will continue to gain little or nothing from the reduction in fuel prices until the cedi begins to appreciate. When will that happen? Prices on the global markets have gone down, but our consumers may not benefit from that because our local currency, the cedi, which is the key variable in the determination of local market prices, keeps depreciating against the impacting currency being the dollar. He is quoted to have said, if the cedi continues on this tangent, then the Ghanaian consumer may not benefit from any price reduction on the international market. If we are not fortunate and we keep seeing increases in prices, we will see our prices go up. We may start selling a little for 17 cedis, Nana Amoesi III stressed. The Ghana cedi is currently sold at 10 cedis 51 pesos at some forex bureaus in Accra. So it's not even a 10-10. However, petrol and diesel are selling above 11 Ghana cedis and 13 Ghana cedis at various fuel pumps, despite some reductions on the global market. And this is a challenge we are having to encounter. Who is going to arrest the cedi? What are the mitigating measures being put in place to safeguard us? Once again, they will mention the Russia-Ukraine war. Because in all of this, we are told that the Russians, as in the part of Vladimir Putin, is trying so hard to make his currency strong. And to the extent that it will be better than even the dollar. And having hindsight of this, Biden and his team are also trying so hard to push their dollar to be very strong. And that is probably also affecting us. Well, maybe the cause that has come many years ago that we should look at eco as a common denominator or the currency to be used in the West African sub-region should be looked at. But as to whether it's going to take a place, we don't know. We have a very solid economic management team. Yes, they are working.
Well, that's what you're thinking, but other people are not believing that we have a solid economic management team.
Oh, we have a solid economic management.
A lot of people are saying the finance minister should resign. Should be not resign. Should be sacked or fired. Another person is in the news saying that Bawumia should also step down.
I think with the ousting of Boakye Jakunda limited the people. So
you see, when someone sits back and says that you should resign, there's a different meaning to you should be sacked. Or you don't think so?
Yeah.
If the person is asking to resign, it looks like the person even has you at act.
So the honorable thing to do is to resign rather than being sacked. But who is going to sack the Saki? The guts.
Who's the Saka to sack the Saki?
That's the question. The guts, and then the vim to do that is the question.
The question.
Well, it may not happen in a lifetime.
Okay, let's talk about other stories and talk about Ghana missing in top 5 countries controlling over 50% of Africa's wealth. We are missing the top 5 countries, but we are number 6. To me, it's not bad. Like let's call a spade a spade. It's not.
We call ourselves the beacon of West Africa.
I know, but
or Africa.
a list of 17 countries that we are number 6.
Still, we should be number 1.
It'll be 600 million now. It'll be 600 billion. Then it'll be 59 billion.
because most of if you do a calculation, there's 600 and then there what 50 what 59. The carrying Yells. Ramaphosa is not doing anything extraordinary. Maybe the predecessors like Nelson Mandela. What's the other one? A very popular one that I've forgotten his name. Maybe those ones they did a very good job in maintaining their wealth.
Okay, let's get into the details of the story. It says that the Africa Wealth Report 2022 has shown that 3 countries control more than half of the continent's total wealth, with South Africa leading the table, followed by Egypt and Nigeria. These 3 countries are set to command $651 billion, $307 billion, and $228 billion, respectively, in private wealth, totaling $1.18 trillion. The figure translates into 56% of Africa's $2.1 trillion total wealth. In the 4th and 5th positions, respectively, with a total private wealth worth of $125 billion and $91 billion, were Morocco and Kenya. So from a global perspective, South Africa, Nigeria, and Egypt were among the top 15 nationalities in terms of the enquiries Henley and partners received last year. South Africa was in 5th place globally with a growth of 38% in 2021, Nigeria in the 7th place with growth of 15%, and Egypt in the 14th place with growth of 25%. Ghana, however, came in at number 6 with $59 billion in private wealth. Also, the study showed that in Africa, the highest wealth was recorded in 2012 at $2.4 trillion, while 2017 had the highest number of dollar millionaires at 148,000. So when you look at a list of the 17 African countries, South Africa emerges number 1 on the list with $661 billion. And then Egypt has $307 billion, Nigeria has 228, Morocco has 125, Kenya has 91, and Ghana, number 6, has 59. It's not bad to me, per my estimation. And then followed by Tanzania, 56 billion, Angola has 53, Ethiopia has 52, Mauritius has 44, Cote d'Ivoire has 43, Uganda has 37, Namibia has $24 billion, Mozambique has 20, Botswana has 13, Zambia has 14, and Rwanda has $11 billion, all coming or summing up to the private wealth of the African countries. Yeah.
So, well, our whole brief for us is on the size of the country compared to that of Nigeria. We are 4 times or almost 5 times Nigeria. Yeah. South Africa is equally bigger than us. So then you can say that their wealth will be more done. us, and then the human resource that works to also pay taxes or something like that
Yeah.
for development and all that will also be bigger than us. But then again, it's the same people who consume. It means that you have more. If you have more, you have more work to also do. But it means that they are doing well by also safeguarding their wealth compared to us. So still a little generous report, 17 billion. My RNN, my LN, 17 billion is going down the drain. 2021 Auditor General's report. And the previous years was about 12 billion. So what you say, we are upgrading. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's simple.
17 billion, 12 billion, and the capital
still occupy number 3 position or something.
Yes. Yes.
We'll see, yes. Anyway, let's still stay on economy. And on the 2023 budget that is about or will be ready, hopefully, I think in November, and Ghana to receive $600 million in budgetary support from the World Bank. So it looks like the support is already coming in. I don't want to believe that this is part of the $3 million budget, $3 million or $3 billion that we're asking for. It is a 600 but it's a matter so. The will be short of 600. Anyway, so the story says Ghana is expected to receive an estimated $600 million in budgetary support from the World Bank for next year's budget, that is 2023. The estimated budgetary support, according to the World Bank Country Director Pierre Laporte, forms 30% to 40% of Ghana's budget of 2023. Just a wow show. Imagine, with all the wealth that we have, we are going to IMF to give us 30 to 40% of our own budget that we need to rule or take care of the country. Are we happy with this?
No, sir.
So you can't take care of your own affairs. So even let's use the minimum. Minimum is 30%. So you are bringing out the 30%. Oh, chain will be able to or more 30% and send away to me. Let's continue with the story. Making the assertion in a yet-to-be-aired interview, Mr. Laporte averred the funds is to help ease the country's balance of payments. We typically give cash to government, and that goes to the budgets to help ease the balance of payments. We cannot give around 30% to 40% to the country's envelope in budget support. For Ghana, you are looking around $600 million because Ghana's envelope for the next 3 years is around $1.5 billion. But I'm not saying this is what we will give. It can be more, it can be less, he quipped. Well, Ghana, he further noted, will, however, have to first satisfy some certain criteria before it qualifies for the budgetary support. Mr. Laporte's assertion is in view of the ongoing negotiations between Ghana and the IMF for the $3 billion balance of payments support program. The strength of a reform program by Ghana under the IMF will also determine the country's qualification for the budgetary support. So he's just teasing with the $600 million. Should whatever IMF is looking for go through, then we will have that budgetary support. Other than that,
sometimes I even get to think that this IMF support that or the bailouts is really going to turn out positive, because even the IMF boss is saying that it's not as a result of bad policies, but as a result of some exogenous shocks that, or like uncontrolled circumstances that Ghana had no way to control that. COVID-19 then control Russia, Ukraine were the fire home, but then control you get it. So clearly these reasons she has outlined, it looks positive that Ghana is going to get that money.
Well, just a matter of time. Let's see.
It would have been different if she said that it was because of lackadaisical attitude,
bad policies.
Bad policy, but she didn't say that.
Well, they won't say it, but they know. They know. They know. They are not gullible.
I know, right? Let's not stay on business and talk about the CD4. And Ghana needs better economists. Baumia has failed, and this is the call of the spare parts dealers official. And it says that the spokesperson for the Spare Parts Dealers Association, Mr. Tichi Ado, has chided President Nana Akufo-Addo's economic management team for being so loud about their prowess than the management of the economy. In an interview, Mr. Ado called on Akufo-Addo to consult better economists to turn the economy around and ditch Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia over his economic failures. Even Finance Minister has not been ditched. Not vice president.
But he's the head of the economic management team. So even the finance minister is under him.
It's an even him, because they can't take him out. Not head. According to Mr. Ado, the depreciation of the city is a testament that Dr. Bawumia is all talk and no action, adding that the government must eat humble pie and consult economists in previous administrations for solutions to Ghana's current economic malaise. He added that instead of Dr. Bawumia putting in place measures to arrest the constant fall of the city, he is rather focusing on presidential ambitions.
But he said that he's not interested in that. That I can hold brief for.
Yeah, he said he's not interested.
Exactly, he's interested in making a mark for the party than focusing his attention on presidency.
Let's continue.
Okay.
He says in quotes that the dollar is running like Usain Bolt. Now the problem is the government must eat their humble pie and consult more professionals. Go to the past administrations. There are more people who can help. From the Rollins administration, Kufu administration, Mills's administration, and the Mahama administration. Or if you go to our universities, there are better economists there. We need to give them 1 week. They can go to Pediasi and bring solutions. Because for now, Bawumia has failed. He has failed the economy. Now we know what he can do. The only thing he can do is start going around, start meeting people and talking about digitalization. He can't even fix the economy. When the NPP took over in 2016, the dollar was 3 cedis 97 pesos. After the swearing in, it went to 4 cedis 20 pesos. Now it is 10 cedis 10 pesos. Whose fault is it? It is the vice president. He can't even manage the small office as the vice president. How much more the whole nation? I like the way he's hitting the nail right in it. Like, these people cannot really say. And he's giving us preambles, giving us solid reasons we should believe that he's really not doing what he's supposed to do.
Well,
from 3 cedis,
all true and
pesos,
true.
4 cedis 20 pesos, now 10 cedis 10 pesos, and you talk about digitalization. Well, that is
also inherent to the benefits of the economy.
Because even when we look at monies that are being lost with state NSS because of digitalization, we are going to solve or ameliorate those kind of issues that are facing these
the ghost names and all those things that we keep hearing every now and then.
It's so good.
So he's doing his bit. Maybe he needs more support. Remember, I think 2 months down the line, I spoke to Dr. John Kwachi of the IEA regarding such technocrats as he supporting government. But he went ahead to say that they talk and talk. They don't want to listen to them. So whatever he's saying that we should bring professors and economists from tertiary institutions and all those things, they will bring them. They will bring the idea. Professor Bokpin has been talking. John Jache has been talking. Professor John Kwachi has been talking. A lot of them, a lot of economists have been talking. But as to whether they will listen to them is another thing altogether.
Even
they say they are the
listening
governments.
Engineers, when it even comes to flooding and all of that, they don't even really listen to them like that.
So this is where we are. When they get to the top, they have a different kind of ear that they hear the things that we say from the bottom. So
the president, when we're talking about he reshuffling the ministers and all of that, he mentioned that there are people who are giving him ideas and he's not going to pay attention because those people don't want his party to run and all.
He even went ahead to say some of them are even jobless. They want jobs. Be Ghana with they.
It's a Ghana and cannot deal.
Charlie.
I don't know. Close the ears.
Let's talk about Article 71 and its emoluments and its issues that has arisen a couple of times past and still being talked about thanks to the ex-president John Mahama in his recent interview he granted Media General. Well, based on that, there's been a conversation over the weekend and there's a comment being made by Professor Ajimendia, and he says establish a permanent commission to determine salaries of Article 71 office holders. This was actually made, I watched actually the interview. It was actually made after comments from Hassan Suhini and then Charles Bissiu. So he took the last bite on that to even say what he said. What Suhini said was that as we speak, so it's beginning to become a culture sort of. So let's say John Mahama was available in 2012, 2016. During that 4 years, how much the parliament, the 7th parliament were being paid was that same money that the new administration in 2016, 2020 were being paid. But they should have probably gotten a raise or something. And the raise wouldn't come till they are done. Then becomes ex gratia. They add it together and pay to them. And when people don't understand that, the hue and cry continues. And in all this, you get to realize that to some extent, you can hold brief for them because I say, Waji Juma, say, oh, yeah. And people go for cola. Recently, people were agitating for cola. They were giving cola. They don't take cola. When there's increment in salaries yearly that people get, they don't get it.
Okay.
But when they give them the ex-gratia after 4 years, people complain. And that ex-gratia is supposed to be the accumulated money that was supposed to be paid on their salaries that wasn't paid for the entire 4 years duration. That's what is given to them.
Okay.
And you begin to, okay, let's divide it by how many months? 12 times 4, that's 48. Hey, my maths are saying it's 48. So 48 months divided by the ex gratia money that they are given. Then you begin to realize that this was a month was supposed to be added to their monthly salaries or allowances that they are taking.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
But you realize that somehow the money too becomes a bit too, it's kind of soon. So why don't you now put together a committee or a set up an administrative body that are regulating the amount of money parliamentarians take every month, so that there wouldn't be the case of ex gratia given to them every 4 years.
Yeah.
So imagine somebody, the Mugabes that have stayed on for a very long time. The majority leader, for instance, Ochebe Mensah has been on for like 28 years.
Yes.
The Speaker of Parliament is like 30 years. So every 4 years he's been taking that sum of money. Why should it be so? It shouldn't be so.
Okay.
So there should be a structure to it. That's what Dr. Bafo Ajiman has been calling for. So the story says, a governance expert, Professor Bafo Ajiman has called for a creation of permanent independent commission with the function of determining salaries of Article 71 office holders. In his view, this commission will ensure that the noise and confusion surrounding the salaries of the president, ministers, and lawmakers, as well as others who fall under this bracket, is settled. Article 71, 1 and 2 of the 1992 Constitution determines the salaries and allowances of the executive, the legislature, the judiciary paid from the consolidated fund will be determined by the president on the recommendations of the committee and of not more than 5 persons appointed by him and acting upon the advice of the Council of State. And speaking of the key points, Professor Ajiman, who is also Chief Executive Officer of the Kufuor Foundation, said the idea of every president coming to set up his own commission to determine how much is paid these officers is totally wrong, which I concur 100%. I don't think this should be the subject to discuss of one person, the president, he stressed. He added, if there is a permanent commission that has a longer period, don't subject it to political elections